There are too many words to describe Regent Myers, but teacher is a great one to describe him, and collaborator. He brings the board together, and he teaches all of us who are new regents things that we really need to know. He's also an historian, too, so I suppose if there were three words, it's teacher, collaborator, and historian.
I think of Rick as a servant gentleman. He's always working hard at the things he's engaged in, and he's always doing it in a spirit of great collegiality and service, and I've always admired him for it.
Rick, you're a gentleman, you're a scholar, very well versed, knows the knowledge about the Board of Regents. You represented us very well. Thank you very much.
He has an incredible depth of caring for the universities and for the state of Arizona, and Tucson in particular, being his home. He is incredibly organized, well-connected, and willing to step out and make things happen.
You know, when you're thinking about Rick Myers and you wanted to get his description down to just a couple of words or a small phrase, let's see. You know, kind of like a Tasmanian devil. What I mean by that is just on the move, constantly advancing, constantly fearlessly advancing. It could be a new company, it could be a new idea, it could be, you know, working to make something happen in the board or the Tucson School District, just Tasmanian devil.
If I have one or two words to describe Regent Myers, I'd use the word smart and insightful.
The one word to me that personifies Rick Myers is integrity, because he's just the personification of everything that word means.
I would describe Regent Myers as a very dedicated public servant. It's extremely evident in his passion and in his words that he truly cares about every single student in the state of Arizona.
He is a regent's regent, and the reason I say that is because every once in a while a rare individual comes along who truly makes a difference.
Growing up, I always bragged to all my friends on how I have the smartest, hardworking dad. I still do. You are so giving and loyal to your family, friends, coworkers, community, companies, and volunteer organizations. I see many of your qualities in my children. Sienna has your humor and always thinks of the next prank on Papa, and wants to be a fixer just like you. Nathan is what we call Little Rick. He is strong, caring, and meticulous.
Rick is passionate and committed to everything he touches. Whether it was running the Southern Arizona Leadership Council is where I first met him, to being the chair for 2 consecutive years on the Board of Regents. Rick is all in for the people of Arizona, for our economy, and I wonder sometimes if the man sleeps.
There's so many things about Rick that one would like to recall. His friendliness, his support, but a man who loves Glenlivet as much as he does. This is a special characteristic.
I say this a little tongue-in-cheek, but not really. I think the spider chart that we use for the ABOR goals for the universities is an incredibly efficient and clear way to demarcate where we're going and what we're trying to do, and I think it'll be used for years going forward.
One of the things I enjoy about working with Rick as regent is always available, always creative, always engaged, always passionate, always willing to fight for some kind of solution that isn't easy. And I really enjoy that about working with Rick.
What I enjoy most about working with Regent Myers is his desire to see others on the board succeed. He has really taken the time to introduce me to people that he thinks I need to know and that will help me in my job as a regent.
Rick has a very, very palpable and clear passion about the university system and about its importance to our state. And it always came through in all of his time on the board. You could always sense that you were talking to somebody who really understood it, really cared about it, really carried the responsibility of being a passionate advocate for it in front of any audience. And I think he will be remembered as a real friend to the university system and, more importantly, to all the students that it serves.
Well, Rick is a visionary. He And I think probably the most significant thing that he did for our community was when he was a driving force to push the Regional Transportation Authority through and get the road bond package passed. I can't imagine what our roads would look like today had that not been a successful endeavor.
Rick has been an incredible asset to the community. When he came here by virtue of his work with IBM, the community gained an enormous advantage with his presence. And he showed that leadership in a variety of ways, not the least of which was when he was appointed to the Board of Regents and was able to move a number of very important items through the board agenda and into fruition. But he also provided leadership to the Southern Arizona Leadership Council. He's been a leader in entrepreneurial business in Tucson and continues to be a very important member of the community in a leadership position.
He made tremendous changes and progress during his chairmanship involving the structure and committee system for the Board of Regents. He brought metrics to the university process and how we measure the university's success, the president's success, and president compensation. So he is, the Board of Regents is a much better organization because of his service.
Regent Myers' passion shows in two very important ways. One of them is the time that he gives to each university in the state. And the other way his passion shows is through his understanding of each individual university and the responsibility that this board has to the individuality of that university, each one's special needs, each one's challenges, and the great opportunities that they have differentially from one another.
What I most remember respecting so much about Rick was what a great collaborator and team player that he was. He was somebody that on any issue sought to find the common ground, and he did that by listening to other people's points of view, and not just listening, but really empathizing with how they felt and enabling them to feel that he heard them. And then trying to find the common ground and find a decision that would make everybody happy.
Regent Myers had consistent support for all three universities, even when he engaged in his new business venture and when he was juggling so many different trips around the country and help for the startup. He never dropped the ball with thinking about what we needed and helped guide us.
He has such a broad array of skills that he brings to the task. Strategic planning, political instincts, budget background, personnel background, and he brings poise and steadiness and calm and reason to the enterprise.
He is a consensus builder, and he really can motivate people to achieve a common vision. And he did that so many times in big issues that we dealt with at the Southern Arizona Leadership Council.
With Rick being sometimes the smartest guy in the room and oftentimes the person that had the most leadership capability, he's always down to earth, always approachable, and always easy to talk to. He's a terrific guy, and I really value calling him a friend.
Oh, I think he'll have a rich legacy. I think he is one of the fathers of the enterprise model of planning, strategic planning and governance. And I enjoyed personally working with him on that closely. I think he did a lot to build bridges between Tucson and Phoenix and view the U of A and ASU and NAU relationships as collaborative, where the whole was greater than the sum of the parts.
Rick personifies what every region, in my opinion, should be, and that is to be objective, certainly need to be intelligent, certainly needs to be thoughtful in every regard, and has to be decisive in making decisions that are sound and pliable.
Rick Myers is a mentor for me. He's a close friend and a man that I admire very much. There are few people that are willing to make the sacrifice that he has made, and so it's an honor to serve with him on this board.
Regent Myers, congratulations on your retirement from ABOR. I can't believe it's been 8 years since you've been on the board. You could keep going forever. First of all, I'd like to say thank you for putting your trust in me and hiring me, because I wouldn't be here without your support. So I thank you for that. I'm sad that I don't get to continue to work with you, but you're never going to retire. You're going to always be around, and because you live close and you're down in southern Arizona, I'm going to get to work with you maybe even more than I have since you've been a regent.
This video would be too long to list all your accomplishments, but my favorite is the awesome father you are and an even better papa. We are so proud of you and love you very much, Dad. Cheers to Papa.
Cheers.
Cheers, Papa.
Cheers, Papa.
Rick, my hope is that you'd be reappointed. And so that's my thought about your departure.